We typically identify as the individuals inhabiting our bodies, but experimental physics suggests we are the awareness itself, temporarily localized in human form. The world we perceive around us exists as a projection we actively construct in real time. This claim is often dismissed as philosophy or poetry, yet it is a specific conclusion supported by decades of quantum research. Genuinely understanding this scientific perspective alters our baseline definition of what it means to be human. For over 3 centuries, the classical model of biology assumed the physical brain was the source of the mind. This materialist view argued that awareness was a biochemical byproduct, a flickering result of complex neural networks firing in sequence. Modern quantum mechanics now offers a direct contradiction to that biological assumption. Following the mathematics to their ultimate conclusion, we stop asking how the brain creates consciousness. Instead, we start asking what consciousness creates. 4 branches of physics and mathematics have arrived at this same conclusion through entirely different paths. The first line of evidence comes from the most consistently replicated result in physical history, the observer effect. This is a wave function. Before a particle is measured, it doesn't possess a fixed location. It exists as an infinite cloud of probability. But the act of measurement forces that cloud to collapse. Only through observation does it take on a definite physical state. Most physicists acknowledge this experimental result, but choose to ignore the structural questions it raises. If a physical state cannot exist until it is measured, then the observer performing that measurement must be present first. This places consciousness as the precondition for the physical universe to exist in any measurable form. If this framework is shifting how you view the cosmos, subscribe and turn on notifications. We explore the latest developments in physics every single day. A different line of evidence emerged in 1931, not from physics, but from the realm of pure mathematics. This is Kurt Gödel, the brilliant mathematician who published the Incompleteness theorems. Godel proved any formal system contains truths that cannot be proven using its own rules. It cannot fully explain itself. If we view the brain as a biological computer operating on fixed rules, it faces the same limit. It cannot account for its own awareness. A brain can process data or simulate logic, but it cannot produce the subjective experience of grasping a truth. That aha moment, the actual understanding of a concept, requires an observer that exists outside the physical system being observed. In this light, you are not the biological machine. You are the entity that understands the machine's computation. Combined, these pillars suggest that consciousness is the foundation of reality, operating outside the computational laws of matter. But if the mind is not a product of physical laws, we have to re-examine our experience of time. We can find an answer in the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, the master description of quantum gravity. In this equation, the variable for time completely drops to absolute zero. At the most fundamental layer of the universe, time does not appear to exist. If time is absent at the bedrock of reality, why do we experience a forward-moving present moment? The resolution to this paradox reveals exactly how the mind is connected to the cosmos. That is where we are going in part 2. In the master equation of quantum gravity, the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, the mathematical variable for time drops completely to zero. Mathematics suggests that time is an emergent property, a secondary effect of more fundamental interactions, rather than an independent backdrop. This raises a difficult question. If the foundational math of the universe is static, how are we experiencing a forward-moving present moment? The answer may lie in quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where 2 distinct systems remain connected across space, sharing information instantaneously. As an observer compares these entangled states, a relationship is formed. It is this comparison that creates the perception of a before and an after. By organizing these correlations into a sequence, our awareness produces the sense of passing time. We perceive movement because our consciousness is the mechanism stringing static probabilities together into a narrative. This physics brings us to a biological puzzle. How exactly does the warm, wet tissue inside your skull interface with a timeless quantum field? Nobel laureate Sir Roger Penrose proposes a biological link known as orchestrated objective reduction, or ORC-OR. The theory focuses on tiny, hollow cylinders inside your neurons, called microtubules, which may be capable of sustaining delicate quantum coherence. Looking at this cross-section, wave-like quantum frequencies survive and harmonize, even surrounded by the heat and noise of the human body. Standard neuroscience views the brain as a mechanical computer, but these synchronized vibrations suggest a different role: transmission. The brain functions as a sophisticated antenna, filtering and focusing a field of consciousness that exists independently of biological matter. This biological antenna bridges the gap to the physical objects we see by utilizing Wojciech Zurich's theory of quantum Darwinism. Zurich's math describes how the universe leaves redundant imprints of quantum information scattered throughout our physical environment. Our microtubules pick up these imprints, assembling them into the stable, classical reality of tables, chairs, and stars. Now, consider how these pillars align. Pillar 1, the observer effect, shows that consciousness is required to collapse probability into physical form. Pillar 2 comes from Gödel's incompleteness theorems. He proved that systems cannot fully explain themselves. Grasping truth requires an outside perspective. This implies the observer exists on a plane not governed by the brain's computational rules. Pillar 3, the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, reveals that our awareness generates time rather than existing inside of it. And Pillar 4, quantum Darwinism, explains how consciousness constructs our shared reality out of the quantum field. This synthesis points toward a single conclusion. Our awareness is the mechanism that organizes the quantum substrate into a stable, physical world. We are the ones experiencing the reality we help to structure. This perspective doesn't make our daily human experiences an illusion. Pain, love, and loss remain entirely and powerfully real. It simply means that the awareness behind your eyes is a permanent fixture of the universe, rather than a temporary byproduct of biology. Thank you for taking this journey into the quantum nature of reality with us today. Sitting with these concepts requires patience and curiosity, and we're grateful to have you as part of this community. If this exploration shifted your perspective, please hit the like button and share the video. Subscribe and turn on notifications to join us for future explorations. Until next time, consider this. If you are awareness itself, temporarily experiencing a lifetime, when did that experience truly begin, and where does awareness end?